First at noon.
Felony charges against Donald John Trump.
A Fulton County grand jury handing up indictments for former President Donald Trump and 18 others for allegedly trying to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results.
I think it speaks to just how damaged our democracy is.
New reaction from those facing charges, when they could turn themselves in, and the timeline for a trial ahead of the 2024 presidential election.
We look at the facts, we look at the law, and we bring charges.
Thank you for joining us this noon. I'm Aisha Howard. We continue to follow one of the biggest headlines coming out of the state of Georgia ever. A Fulton County grand jury has indicted former President Trump and 18 of his allies. This is all in connection with alleged attempts to overturn the state's 2020 election results. We have team coverage from the Fulton County Courthouse covering all sides of this story for you. Let's kick it off right now with 11 Alive's Jerry Karn. So, Jerry, we know Trump and 18 of other co-conspirators have to turn themselves in by noon on August 25th. The clock has restarted. We have waited more than 2 years just to get to this point, but in some cases, it's like this story is just beginning.
That's right. Good afternoon, Aisha. The grand jury that indicted former President Donald Trump late yesterday is back at work today here at the Fulton County Courthouse, no doubt dealing with more routine cases. You might be able to see the barricades that still surround the courthouse here, and security is going to get even more intense over the next several days as we await the moment when the former president surrenders to authorities here in Fulton County.
Arrest warrants have been issued for former President Donald Trump, now the most high-profile criminal defendant in Fulton County history. A 98-page indictment accuses him of knowingly spreading lies in an effort to return to the White House.
Rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election.
The indictment charges Trump and 18 of his supporters with taking part in a plan that constituted a criminal organization that, among other things, they spread false statements, filed false documents, influenced witnesses, and took part in acts involving theft and perjury. The indictment specifically points to Donald Trump's speeches and social media posts after the election.
It also accuses the former president of trying to pressure Governor Brian Kemp and House Speaker David Ralston into calling a special session of the legislature. The former president is charged with making numerous false claims about illegal votes in Georgia. According to the indictment, Trump filed court documents falsely claiming Georgia's 2020 vote included 2,500 felons, 66,000 voters who were underage, and more than 10,000 dead people.
It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial.
District Attorney Fonnie Willis presented the criminal grand jury with evidence that Trump and his allies spread falsehoods about the 2020 vote in 6 other states.
Many occurred in Georgia, and some occurred in other jurisdictions and are included because the grand jury believes they were part of the illegal effort.
Former President Donald Trump, now facing his 4th criminal indictment, has until next Friday to turn himself in to authorities in Fulton County.
And District Attorney Fonnie Willis says it's important to remember that all of the defendants are considered innocent until proven guilty. She wants to take them all to trial at the same time in the next 6 months. Back to you.